Hello, my name is Chuck, and I'm going to start a series here to demonstrate and teach how to do the Manhattan circuit construction technique. And we're going to do a number of projects, some of them simple and some of them complex, but we're going to start off simple and go from there. The first thing we're going to do, or I'm going to do, is have you, as a student of Manhattan construction, build some simple test equipment that we're going to use when you go and get ready for a larger project. I am going to go, and I have permission from Steve Weber to do a project. Got an email from him this morning, so let's get started. First of all, the project that I have is one that he had on his webpage but disappeared. So if you go to archive.org, there's a link here to what is called the Wayback Machine, and this allows you to go and access websites that have disappeared or changed, but the data or web pages and the material is still archived. So let's go kd1jv.qrpradio. The secret here is that you've got to know what the old URL was. Let's go to that. And you'll get a calendar that shows that this web page was started in 2005 and is still active, 2025. The project I'm interested in was done in 2009, so let's just go off here to 2011. Click on it, you'll get a calendar, and the dates in which snapshots were made of the web page are circled in blue. And let's just pick a date. Let's just go to September 30th, and the snapshot was made at 12:45 in the morning. I assume that's UTC. Click on it. This will bring us up the web page. Has to go. Oh, I need to go to the date and click on it, or excuse me, the time, and this will show you the old page. And the thing that I'm interested, and there's some other stuff here, build it from scratch, homebrew projects. These projects are not available as kits. Notice all projects are copyright and presented here for individual and non-commercial use only. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm not making a dime. In fact, I'm going to spend upwards of $400 for a large number of projects. You don't have to spend the money. You can watch or you can participate. There's a number of projects here. He's got a WWV receiver. There's another thing here that I may come back to. Here's a 72-part contest rig. Okay. It uses an integrated circuit. I'm going to stick to transistors at first. Let's go down here to the all discrete components 40-meter transceiver. And here's the web page. Steve built using transistors, and he explains here, you need to read all this material, why he did this, but here is his final result. Uses printed circuit board for the enclosure. He did his own printed circuit board here using a toner transfer to build this transceiver. We're going to do it Manhattan style. Actually, I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to do a printed circuit board, but I'm going to get it made by PCB Way in China. You can get 10 boards for $12 and something, less than $13. That includes shipping. And I'm going to allow you access to the Gerber files that you can get the boards if you want to build it that way. But I've got to check the board. So going back, we're going to start. I'm going to build this thing, but I don't want you to build it yet. I want you to build it Manhattan style, but I want you to build the test equipment you're going to need. Here's the schematic. This is for the receiver. Notice it's all transistors. There are 2N3904s, easy to come by. I'm going to use 2N4401. Any NPN that you've got in your junk box will probably work here. Now there's some JFETs, the 2N3819. There are some substitutes, but you can find these for 25 cents a piece, and I'll give you a link later on in the next couple of videos, show you how I get the parts. But your assignment, and I want you to start, is to go to this web page, read the material, save the schematics. You can do this, right-click on the schematics and do a save image as, and save it on your hard drive, and then print it. And you may want to print off a couple of copies because I want you to highlight and analyze this thing. We're going to perform a Mark Watney analysis of things. Mark Watney from the movie The Martian, he says at one point in the movie, we're going to science the stuffings out of this. And that's what I'm going to do here. Your first homework assignment is to print this thing off, then do a block diagram for the receiver and do a block diagram for the transmitter. I'm going to come along and do the same thing, and then I will tell you, and you try to guess ahead of time what I'm going to do. But here's the audio amp, then there's a mute, then there's a product detector. By the way, this product detector is kind of like a dual gate MOSFET. This circuit first appeared in a Texas Instruments document in 1960. I was a summer intern for Texas Instruments for a number of years when I was working on degrees. And I'll come back to this. IF amp block, IF crystal filter. Here's another mixer. Again, using 2 JFETs. Here's a bandpass filter, and then another part of the mute, and then we go off to the antenna. Down here is the VFO and the RIT, receiver increment, RIT tuning. I'll come back to that. And here's the BFO for the receiver. Then there's the transmitter. I'm going to make some mods to this. I'm going to eliminate the IF transformers, and I'm not a fan of the BS170 for the PA. Because Steve did this in a lot of his work, but here's the problem. There needs to be a Zener diode across here to protect these things, but as it is, if you key down with no antenna, you're going to blow these 2 JFETs here. And you're going to take it apart and replace them. I'm going to replace this with a single transistor that costs 10 cents that you can key down with no antenna, and it will still survive. Let's do some research here. First of all, go back to my home page here. Go to aa7fo.com. And at the bottom of this page, I revived an old document. This thing is so old, I don't even know when I did it. But it's a beginner's manual for those of you who have not tried Manhattan construction. A lot of this material is old, obsolete, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'm going to have to come back and show you a new place to get your printed circuit boards. I did this in a previous video. I'll put the links down in the comment section on YouTube here. I did a YouTube video showing you how I did this before, but go down to the bottom of the document. We're not going to do integrated circuits, so skip that. I showed you how to glue the pads down, done that. Here's some examples of how to mount resistors. Here's an RF probe. Don't build that because it's part of this other circuit. I want you to build this crystal checker. All it is a Colpitts oscillator. Go to the internet, Google for crystal oscillator, Colpitts crystal oscillator, and find the original diagram. I don't know why I don't have it here, but I'm going to rewrite this document. But build this. And we're going to need it. We're going to need a crystal checker because of the crystals we use in the BFO and the IF filter. So this is a very simple thing. You're going to have to sacrifice some parts. You're going to learn just, this is how I did the layout. Go from the schematic to this to see how if this is the best way. Also, I used some pins from a IC socket. I'm going to use some 2.54 millimeter header pieces to make the crystal holders so you can swap them in and out. Don't solder the crystal in. So I think I've given you enough work to do. Another place to look for Manhattan, well, there's probably hundreds of YouTube videos. Solder Smoke has a thing going for a direct conversion receiver that they designed for a high school educational project. You may want to consider doing it. But the originator of the Manhattan circuit construction popularity was done by Jim Kirchie, K8IQY, and he won a building contest in 1998 in Dayton. The technique itself can be traced back to Doug DeMond, and I'll come back to that. Wes Hayward, in his book EMRFD, Experimental Methods for Radio Frequency Design, has some information there. So there's a lot of places to get the information, and I'll point them out as I go. Can't do everything in one video. Well, I could, but it'd just be too long. So the purpose here is to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to limit videos to 15 minutes, and I have a timer in the background, and it'll go off if I exceed the 15 minutes. I hope you follow the series. I hope it'll be entertaining, educational. I'm going to beg like everybody else, please give me some likes. Tell your friends and your enemies and have them show up. Come back and visit several times so I can get the count up. But we're going to build this puppy, and then after that we're going to build a NE4040 done by Dave Benson. I got his permission a long time ago. I'm going to ask it again because time flies. I'm going to build this thing in 1 week from the printed circuit board. Let me show you the printed circuit board. Let's see, where do I want to go? Oh, I want to go down here to Wind Programs. I have this program that I bought from Europe. Sprint. I took and I laid out the board. And I'm going to build the first version from here. I need to check the board. I'll make the board available for those of you who don't want to do Manhattan. You can do it on a printed circuit board with some mods. So that's the plan. Let's get started. You go do your homework and I'll be back.